This program contains strong language and graphic details of crimes committed by those on parole. Viewer discretion is advised. Between prison and freedom lies a world in limbo.
They have to want to become a better person to complete parole.
Parolees are released and allowed to re-enter society if they follow the rules.
I don't want to see a child get violated from a guy that's on my caseload.
Their fate rests in the hands of the parole officers.
It's time for you to put your grown-up drawers on and start doing something.
Whose tough love will guide them to redemption.
This is the last straw.
Or send them right back to prison.
Yes or no?
Yes.
It's a world of hope and fear.
You got a month before you deliver. You're ready.
Can they make it on the outside?
I'm asking God to help me right now.
Yeah, I'm asking him to help me with you, too.
There are over 1.5 million Americans incarcerated in the United States. Over half of them end up on parole.
Parole agent's job is to supervise parolees. If they break a rule, they can go back to prison.
Parole agents like Denise Jackson must keep a close watch.
No, you're not doing the right thing.
Well, I gotta go downtown.
Because if you was, you would still be in the halfway house. They're gonna end up punking you. You got to be firm.
And decipher fact from fiction to protect the public.
You are still using.
Denise has seen it all in her 12 years as a parole officer.
When you're dealing with a person with substance abuse issues, they're gonna run all over you. They're gonna manipulate you. They're gonna do all kind of crazy stuff to you.
"51-year-old Maggie Hartley has been in and out of prison most of her adult life.
Maggie Hartley's been on parole for a few weeks. She's on parole for theft and receiving stolen property, and she has a history of substance abuse. So do you have any plans of what you want to do?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm divorcing my husband. My baby daddy still cares for me. He wants to marry me.
And this is why I call you Miss Beautiful.
No, I'm not.
Every time I turn around, you got somebody to take care of you. You go, girl.
My husband don't.
I call her Miss Pretty because of all the men trouble she's been getting herself into. She's a wild card.
Drugs and abuse run rampant in all of Maggie's relationships.
Okay, let me get this together, right? While you were incarcerated, you had your boyfriend living in the house with your husband, and your husband is under the assumption that he was your cousin until your brother spilled the beans and put your boyfriend out of the house.
He wasn't.
No, yes he was. Quit lying, because I didn't talk to your brother. You just married this old man and using him, taking his money. You and your boyfriend. And you know, see, you can smell that ain't funny.
No, he ain't got no money, Miss Jackson.
Well, you and your boyfriend been smoking it up. I'm gonna drop you right now. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna see what's really going on with her.
If she tests positive for drugs, it could be game over for Maggie.
What are we gonna find in your system?
Nothing.
Seriously.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
So you clean, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you grow up in bad neighborhoods and you see crime, you kind of want to do something and see if you can make some type of change.
Gerald Carter became a parole agent 8 years ago and has found his place supervising sex offenders.
What kind of contact have you had with a minor? You got to have a strict person as the agent supervising sex offenders. Normally, my suspicion always stays high on them. I just like for them to prove my suspicion wrong, really.
37-year-old Thomas Calvert is on parole for sexual misconduct with a minor. His victim was a teenage girl.
Yeah, that address, I don't think that's going to be good, so keep looking.
And I gotta say, Mr. Carter, I don't want to go back.
Thomas has been staying at a homeless shelter called the Wheeler Mission since being back on parole.
Anything been going on, man?
Nope. Same old, same old.
You been at the missionary?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
How much contact with children are you having?
None.
You gotta have some, though.
If anything, it's incidental. I walk by kids or they'll get on the bus where I'm at, but I don't talk to them. I leave them. I don't even mess with them.
What about masturbation? How many times do you masturbate?
I haven't even been with my wife yet. But right now, I'm not even worried about sex, Carter.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm not even worried about it. I just want to be with my wife, you know, just to be able to hold her at night. That's all I want, man. That's all I want. She's not even worried about sex. Right now, it's not even in the picture.
Boy, you be laying it on thick, man. He tries, man. That's pretty much all I can give him credit for. He does try. Thomas has some mental health issues, and he makes mistakes. The only problem is those mistakes lands him in prison. Are you taking any medication, man?
Yeah, the doctor put me back on my Wellbutrin.
Thomas was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 5 years ago. Carter sees this a lot. 1 in 8 prisoners in the U.S. have serious mental illness.
So you got an address, man?
3800 West Street.
Whose place is that?
Linda. My sister, that's where they're getting ready to move to.
Sex offenders cannot stay within 1,000 feet of any school, daycare, playground, or park.
His wife doesn't have a stable place for him to stay at right now, so that's why we have him at the mission. He's currently looking for a place to stay.
3800 West Street.
Yeah, it's called Street Apartments.
Off on 10th Street, right by 10th Street on the west side?
I had no idea, Miss Carter.
I don't think they allow sex offenders to stay there.
I told her all I could do is have you check it out.
Have her ask them, will they allow sex offenders to stay in there? I think I've been in there already.
Okay,
I'll have
her I'll get a hold of her on the phone today and have her check it.
His last violation was the internet. He kept lying about having the internet on his phone after being told several times not to have it.
A violation is when a parolee gets caught breaking a rule of their parole.
What about the internet, man?
No, none.
Where's your phone? Let me see your phone.
Hang on, I'm trying to get it out. It's in my pocket, yeah. As far as I know, there's still no internet connection on it.
As far as you know, right?
As far as I know. I haven't tried it.
It should be easy to know, though, right?
I haven't.
32-year-old parole agent Justin Bennett has a caseload that some men might shy away from.
When I came to parole almost 3 years ago, I was approached about supervising female parolees. I saw it as a challenge. Take it easy, okay? Good luck to you.
Bennett faces the challenge of supervising women with an understanding but firm attitude.
I'm going to drug test you.
Okay.
They have to want to become a better person to complete parole.
Today is Agent Bennett's first visit with 27-year-old Tamara Ailes. Tamara is on parole for forgery. She's also 7 months pregnant with her 4th child.
It all started at a doctor's appointment. The pad was just sitting there. He walked out of the room, and I just stuck it in my purse. And when you have an addiction, it just kind of takes over. I've taken stuff from family members. I've sold things, my kids' things. I've done things to get a hold of stuff so that I could feed my addiction.
We're going to go ahead and do her initial interview. So you just got out of prison and you're on parole for?
Prescription fraud, forgery.
Prescription fraud and forgery. When you wrote the prescriptions, you signed the name, the doc, and everything?
Yes, sir.
What was your drug of choice?
Opiates.
Opiates. How many children do you have?
3, and then this one.
Okay.
When I got locked up and I found out I was pregnant.
Tell me about being pregnant while you are locked up.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, you never get enough food. You're always hungry. But it's not too bad. The doctors are really good. They gave me a baby shower a week before I left.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, I regret what I put my kids through and leaving them and the emotional problems I've caused them. They would just cry and cry, and they just didn't understand.
Agent Bennett's caseload includes many mothers, just like Tamara. Most women on parole have at least one child.
The immediate concern for me is to get the moms on the straight and narrow, but my main focus is the children. I want to make sure the children are put in a good environment and that these kids don't have to worry about mom leaving again or being taken away.
Since being released from prison, Tamara and her husband have been staying at her father-in-law's house. The couple doesn't feel welcome, but has no place to go.
Tamara's immediate family lives in Lafayette, Indiana, just a little bit north of here.
I'm not real close with my family up there.
Tell me about the criminal history in your family.
My brother, I think his charge was a meth charge.
What about your mom?
My mom, I'm not sure what her charge was. I think it was possession too or something.
Her mother has a criminal history. If her mom's not doing it the right way, Tamara has to make her own decisions and try to do the right thing by her kids. You guys are already going to be started looking for a place. Once you figure out what that place is, let me know so I can check it out.
I'll make sure I let you know before I move.
Doing her interview, I could not tell with some of the questions that was asked whether she was being truthful or not. Tamara, she's in a tough spot right now. Her father-in-law is absolutely against her staying in his home. Her mom is a convicted felon. I don't want to put her in a position to possibly be involved in criminal activity or around it. And I just want to make sure she finds some type of stable housing because she's due in a couple months.
Coming up on Parole Diaries.
That's my medication.
Why ain't your name on this?
Maggie, she's a wild card.
I don't smoke or drink or do weed, none of that.
Shut up. Just stop.
And later.
I'm going to give Tamara Ailes a call.
The number you have dialed is not in service.
Sex offender Thomas Calvert was already sent back to prison once for violating his parole agreement.
What about the internet, man?
No, none.
Where's your phone? Let me see your phone.
Registered sex offenders are not allowed to have internet access.
Hang on, I'm trying to get it out.
And that's what got him locked up by Carter last time.
As far as I know, there's still no internet connection on it.
As far as you know, right?
As far as I know. I haven't tried it.
It should be easy to know, though, right?
You told me no internet, so I gave up.
I know I told you that the last time, and you had the internet on your phone, in your house, everywhere, so.
No, I'm done with the internet. I'm done. I don't even need to get on it anymore. That's my medication. That's the Wellbutrin. That's what they gave me at the little clinic they had up there.
Why ain't your name on this?
Because I'm waiting on a script from...
This ain't yours then, right?
No, they're my brother-in-law's. They're Wellbutrin now. That's why I've been put back on.
So why are you acting like these are your pills, man?
That's what I was getting ready to tell you. They're not mine. That's what I was getting ready to say. They're not mine.
What if I wouldn't have asked you for them?
I was going to tell you anyway.
Still was going to tell me?
Yes.
No, you wasn't.
Possessing any controlled substance without a prescription is a parole violation. This slip could cost Thomas big.
It's from my brother-in-law. He can't take them anymore. It's my sister giving them to me.
Then you can't take them, man. These ain't your pills, man.
Okay.
All right.
No problem. I won't take them.
This is an ongoing issue with Thomas. Always have to confiscate something from him. If it's something that I could honestly see that you may have made a mistake, didn't understand the rules, then maybe I can give you a chance on that. Yeah, man, I don't want you taking no pills. These ain't yours, man. And that address, I don't think that's going to be good, so keep looking, man.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I'll see you at the mission, Carter.
All right.
The pressure is on for drug addict Maggie Hardley. Parole agent Denise Jackson has chosen to drop her for drugs today.
The water make you use the bathroom? Okay. Put the top on it. Okay. Don't be slinging that shit. Wash your hands.
The results could send Maggie straight back to prison after only a few short weeks of freedom.
So when the last time you used?
That's before that. I ain't used no more.
When the last time you used?
Whenever I had it, about the second or the first. I don't even drink or smoke weed, never have in my life. I'm tired of that life, and I don't choose to ever be in with it anymore.
Okay. You know how to read this?
No, I do not.
See that? That means you tested positive for cocaine. C103, that's marijuana.
I don't use marijuana, Miss Jackson.
You see that? You know what that is?
What is it?
PCP.
Well, I don't...
Well, let me tell you, back up. Back up. Go ahead, back up.
Okay.
Now, you might not have used some of the things that you tested positive for, but the drugs that you were using probably had those things in it. Okay. You just tested positive for PCP, marijuana, and cocaine. You relapsed. And when you relapsed, what other drugs were you doing?
None. Nothing, Miss Jackson, nothing. I don't smoke or drink or do read, none of that.
Shut up. Just stop. I'm doing this now. You have had 10 years in the streets doing drugs. You were only clean because you were incarcerated. You've been out 3 weeks, right?
Right.
And within 2 weeks of you being released on that 8 or 9 month bid, you relapsed.
Yes, I did.
Denise isn't ready to give up on Maggie.
I ordered her to get into another halfway house today.
Denise is hoping that the strict rules, curfew, and drug treatment at the halfway house will guide Maggie down a new path. It'll also be a safe environment, away from her man trouble.
I'm going to notify the parole board to put special stipulations on you so that you will not be able to go back to your husband's house. Do me a favor until I see you again.
Okay.
Stay away from both of them. I mean, really.
The boyfriend and the husband?
Yeah.
I got you.
Just stay away.
Definitely. I'm okay.
Your boyfriend's looking for you to kill you, and your husband is looking for you probably to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't go there with me. You're using him. You're 1,000 years old now. It's time for you to put your grown-up drawers on and start doing something.
Okay.
My goal is not to lock them up, to send them back to prison. So you take baby steps and you work a little tiny bits at a time. I'm going to put you for next Friday.
Okay.
And could you do me a favor?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you just not do nothing until you see me again?
I won't do
just
nothing.
Not do nothing.
I'm serious.
Do not. I'm telling you, do not do
I'm
nothing.
not doing nothing.
Don't do nothing.
Nothing. I'm not Miss Jackson. Nothing.
Coming up on Parole Diaries.
What's going on with Miss Maggie?
She never stayed in her 30 days.
Trying to get in touch with Tamara.
And later.
You know we got problems, right? You know, right?
Yeah, I know.
3 weeks into Maggie Hardley's parole, she's hit a road bump.
You just tested positive for PCP, marijuana, and cocaine.
Like Maggie, many drug addicts relapse soon after being released from prison.
What really hurts me with my clients is they relapse and they're back to square one. No job, no place to live, no nothing.
Instead of sending Maggie back to prison, parole agent Denise Jackson sent her to a halfway house. Less than a week later, Maggie left the program without explanation. Now, Denise is meeting with Maggie's supervisor, Aretha Luster, to get the real story of what went down.
Good morning. Miss Aretha here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what's going on with Miss Maggie?
Ooh, we weren't started. Miss Maggie. Well, within her 30 days, what she was doing, she was actually taking the bus. She went back to her abuser, and he was picking her up.
The boyfriend that she was with in the first place. I specifically told Maggie that she is not to have contact with her husband or her boyfriend.
Maggie is making bad decisions. She left the halfway house, and now no one knows where she is. At this point, her safety and her parole are in jeopardy.
Clients walk that line. And when I say they walk that line, they know exactly what they're doing. Maggie knows the system better than I do. I need to track Maggie down. Hi, how are you? Is Maggie there? You know when she'll be back?
If Maggie doesn't call her, Denise may be forced to put out a warrant for her arrest.
When she's not home tomorrow, I'm done with it. I don't have time to be messing with Maggie. I really don't.
On parole for prescription drug fraud, Tamara Ailes is 7 months pregnant and trying to find a new home for her growing family. Agent Justin Bennett is trying to get a hold of her to get an update, but is having trouble.
Maybe I can get in touch with her husband to see if he has any info.
Please leave your message.
She gave me her sister's number to get in contact with her.
The person you are trying to reach is not accepting calls at this time.
Once you start getting 2 or 3 bad numbers, you kind of get a little itchy to start working a little harder to try to find that person to make sure that everything's still okay.
Justin spends the next 2 days trying to track Tamara down. He's worried that she may be staying with family members who also have a criminal drug history.
Hello?
Tamara finally calls him.
Well, what's particularly going on? Really?
She tells him that her father-in-law accused her and her 10-year-old daughter of stealing and made them move out.
You know, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
She's coming in to explain the situation. Tamara has less than 2 months before she delivers her 4th child. She and her husband are unemployed and homeless.
How's the baby?
She's good. She kicks a lot. I think she's going to come early. So.
Early?
Yeah.
Now, what is the reason why you guys were asked to leave the house? Was there an instance with the father-in-law where he told you he didn't want your daughter living there?
Yeah.
And he told you not to bring her back to the house?
Mm-hmm.
But you did anyway?
I had to.
Right.
She's my daughter. I called my family and they said, well, we'll give you gas to come up here. You can stay with us until you get it together.
Recovering addicts like Tamara can relapse around bad influences. At this point, Tamara has run out of options. Her parents' house in nearby Lafayette, Indiana is the only place she and her husband can go.
And you guys don't want to stay there?
The only thing that would stop me was the parole. I wanted to keep my parole here.
Why do you want to keep the parole here anyway?
That's the only reason. I mean, just because I like you. I mean, I don't know. I'm afraid that if things change, it's gonna, I don't know.
Agent Bennett isn't sold.
I don't think I made that much of an impact for her to miss me that much. I think maybe Tamara was very reluctant to go back because of that being a trick to be doing something that maybe she's not supposed to.
But time is running out.
She is due to have this baby very soon, and I think it's important that she has a stable place to stay. At this point, you know, you got to do what's best for you. You need to seriously consider transferring your parole down to Lafayette,
right,
where your family is.
Empty your purse out right here.
After leaving the halfway house, Maggie went missing.
I got you. Okay.
Denise finally tracked her down.
Now, Maggie, me and you gonna have a fight today.
And now Denise wants answers.
I have no clue as to what's going on here with you. You've been out 5 weeks and you've moved 4 times. You've been doing drugs.
I don't know.
Maggie, I don't believe you. You said that last time.
You ain't gotta believe me. I'm just telling you, I can pee right now. I ain't been doing nothing. I'm serious.
You know what, Maggie? Right now, you're in, like, total violation of your parole release agreement. Right now, you can be taken into custody.
Miss Aretha didn't like me at all.
Maggie,
it was always
Maggie,
me.
as I said again, I don't need your rebuttal right now. I'm just trying to get this story together. So every time I say something, I don't need you to say nothing. Maggie's a talker. She tries to fast talk you. She talks so much she out-talks herself. She needs to learn how to listen more and speak less, and she'll be better off. Your husband was verbally abusive. Your boyfriend is physically abusive. And at that time, what'd I tell you?
Don't go back there.
You can't be around neither one of them.
I'm not around neither one of them.
Almost half of female offenders have been physically or sexually abused. The cycle is a hard one to break, and Maggie is still stuck in it.
I had to get my things out of there that day.
Maggie,
when they would go
Maggie,
no more.
See, right now, you really, really want to go back to prison because when I say don't do something, don't do it.
I gotta have those things, Miss Jackson.
But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. This is it. This is the last straw, okay? The last straw. You do any single thing, you're going back. Go delinquent, because I will put a warrant out for you. Because I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you. I'm going to give you some information. You're going to put yourself back into a substance abuse residential house. You're not going to like it, but it's time to stop all this madness. It's time. I'm up here, Maggie. I'm here.
I'm asking God to help me right now.
Yeah, well, I'm asking him to help me with you, too. Me, too.
I need to pray that I can hurry up and get off of this.
Yeah, and get away from me.
Amen, in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah.
Coming up on Parole Diaries.
We're going to see Tamara today. There's a possibility that it may not get approved.
You're on parole for a sex offense, and you have to stay at your approved address every night.
And later.
Maggie, when the last time you used? Right now, you really, really want to go back to prison because when I say don't do something, don't do it.
It's been almost a month since Agent Denise Jackson butted heads with parolee Maggie Hardley, giving her one last chance to clean herself up.
At this point, Maggie's going to have to want it. I can't want it for her. She can't want it because she's on parole. She's going to have to want to be drug-free herself. So what's going on with you?
None. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
What, you in a halfway house or something?
Yes, ma'am. This is where I'm at. Here you go, Miss Jackson. Will and Mission for Children's.
Well, that's a good program, though. Why don't you stay with that program?
Well, if it's okay with you, I will, Miss Jackson.
Yeah.
After taking Denise's advice, something in Maggie seems to have changed.
I'm starting fresh start, so I wanted to let you know that.
What do you mean by fresh start?
I'm getting in the fresh start program. We go to class every day, and they help you get a job.
Look what she's doing now. I could have very easily sent her to prison, but I wanted her to do this. If a client wants to be rehabilitated, they're going to have to do this on their own. So how's everything else been going?
Everything's doing fine.
What's going on with your boyfriend?
I'm not dealing with him no more.
What about your husband?
I don't go to the house or call or nothing, Miss Jackson.
You know what's so crazy? You look better than you have been since I've seen you.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
I mean, really, you do.
Thank you.
When you first got out, it was a total mess.
A total mess. And I prayed yesterday. I said, Lord, could you make me be humble with Miss Jackson, and could you touch her heart? Because I didn't want us to get off on the wrong foot, no more.
We can scare them and do all this crazy stuff, but my thing is whether you own paper or not, you still got to do it for you. Due to the rough start that you've had, you know that you cannot
under no
be dirty
circumstances.
under no circumstances.
Right. I won't, Miss Jackson. I'm serious.
This is your last chance right here, okay?
I'm cool, Miss Jackson.
You cannot leave this program. You can't.
Okay.
You're going to have to complete the program.
Okay, I will.
Maggie still has a lot of work to do. Her entire life rides on the decisions she'll make in the next few weeks.
If the program calls me and tells me that you walked out of that program, you're going to be automatically violated because I didn't give you so many chances.
Okay.
Okay? Come on, let's go.
Sex offender Thomas Calvert has been staying at the Wheeler Mission while looking for an approved place to live. Agent Gerald Carter is on the case.
I got an email from a case manager from the mission stating that Calvert left on Friday and didn't return till Monday.
I think Thomas probably spent the weekend with his family.
During a prior visit with the parole agent, Thomas had submitted his sister's address for approval and found out they don't allow sex offenders.
That's called Street Apartments.
Off on 10th Street, right by 10th Street on the west side?
I had no idea, Mr. Carter.
I don't think they allow sex offenders to stay there.
Thomas knew he could not stay at his sister's apartment.
So we're gonna find out what's going on. You know we got problems, right?
I know,
You know, right?
yeah, I know. All I did was go help my sister move. And then when I was helping her move, we got a call about my grandmother Saturday being in the hospital. I'm still at the mission. I'm still at the mission, Carter. I haven't moved.
Friday night, what'd you do?
My sister came and picked me up. She said if you need to call her to verify.
I don't need to call her because you're on parole for a sex offense and you have to stay at your approved address every night. It's nothing that she's going to tell me to make me think, oh, he don't have to stay here.
Okay.
Thomas knows right from wrong. He knows when to lie to me. We watch sex offenders more closely just because of the type of crimes that they commit. When the news pop up and they say something about a sex offender, you hope to God it's not your guy. Where was she moving to?
The 3800 address I gave you.
At the address where you can't be at?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Is it the address
yes,
you can't be
yes.
at?
Coming up on Parole Diaries.
It's pretty obvious what's going on here.
We got an emergency on our hands on a sex offender.
If they deny it, then we have to try to find somewhere for you to come here.
And later.
You've been an addict longer than you've been clean.
Sex offender Thomas Calvert violated his parole by being away from his approved residence for 3 days.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Is it the address
yes,
you can't be
yes.
at? So you went ahead and went to the address even though I told you you couldn't be there? Because you called me and told me that they said they didn't want sex offenders there, right?
Not living there, no.
Right. Doesn't that sound like they don't want them there?
Yes, sir, it does.
So instead, you went ahead and went there anyway, right?
Long enough to help my sister move.
The problem is they don't want to tell you the truth. If you work with me, then I can help you. What'd you do all Friday? Because you didn't come home.
I stayed overnight because by the time we got done moving her in, it was 9 o'clock.
Stay where?
At her apartment.
Where you can't stay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what about Saturday? When you woke up Saturday, what'd you do?
I didn't have any money to get back. They had called about my grandmother at 9 o'clock that morning, and we spent the whole rest of the weekend trying to figure out where my grandma was in the hospital at. 'Cause that's what they called us about.
So Saturday, instead of going back to the mission, you decided, I'm going to find my grandmother, right? That's the decision that you chose to make?
Yes.
Okay, so when did you get done calling all the hospitals? And
Sunday night.
So
we called all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
So Saturday, where'd you stay?
My sister's again.
Okay. What'd you do when you woke up Sunday?
We started calling the hospitals again, trying to figure out where...
You jumped back on the search, looking for Grandma, right?
Yes.
So there's no way for you to get back to the mission, right?
No.
Okay.
I went back to the mission Monday.
Go out there and have a seat. Right now, we're about to try to get a warrant. It's pretty obvious what's going on here. Thomas's story about him looking for his grandmother for 3 days, that's just something that I'm not going to believe.
Carter must clear an arrest warrant with his supervisor and the parole board before arresting Thomas.
3 nights. Don't know where he was at. Claim he was at his sister's house looking for his grandmother.
Okay. Well, hello, Mr. Miller. This is John Turkopolis at Parole District 3. How you doing? Very good. We got kind of an emergency on our hands on a sex offender.
Thomas has been down this road before. Because of technical parole violations, sex offenders return to prison at a higher rate than all other offenders.
Do we have your verbal authorization to go ahead and put him in custody? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. He's authorizing the warrant. We can go ahead and take him into custody.
I mean, I violated him before, and that was for, he was using the internet without my authorization. But this one right here is just blatant, just failure to just follow any type of rules. See?
With the arrest warrant issued, Carter's fellow agents take Thomas into custody and search him.
The board pretty much issued a warrant for your arrest, man. I think we pretty much know that you can't do stuff like that, man, being away from your residence for 72 hours. So just make sure you don't make that mistake again, man, when you come back out.
Thomas is heading back to prison. His dismissal of the rules will cost him 6 months of freedom.
You got anything in your pockets?
Yes, I do.
You got a whole lot in your pockets, don't you?
Yeah. The cell phone goes to my wife, but she can come pick up everything.
The search yields incriminating evidence. Thomas tries to lie his way out of it.
Music, videos. I wonder what type of videos you got on here, dude.
It ain't mine. I borrowed it off the friend.
Okay.
Like I said, it ain't mine, Carter.
I'm going to see Tamara today. She's decided to move, but there's a possibility that it may not get approved.
Parolee Tamara Ailes is 8 months pregnant. Her husband, and her 3 kids were all kicked out of her father-in-law's house. Now they're homeless. Tamara's grandmother in nearby Lafayette, one of her only relatives without a criminal record, has agreed to take her and her family in.
I just feel like it's a fresh start for us.
So you're going to be staying with the grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
What's the relationship like between you and your grandmother?
It's good.
Really good?
Mm-hmm. They always teased me because they said I was grandma's favorite. So.
But Tamara is running a risk. Once she leaves Indianapolis, Justin cannot control whether her transfer will be approved by the parole office in another county.
I got to tell you, if they deny it, then we have to try to find somewhere for you to come here. All right? You got a month or so before you deliver.
Yep.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
Plan on having any more kids? There you go.
No more babies. I'm done.
No more babies, huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, Tamara.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be very good for Tamara to have that family support from her grandmother, who will try to keep her on the right path and help her with the support of this baby.
Okay, Maggie's here. There's never a dull moment with Maggie.
How's it going? Fine.
Maggie's had a rough start to her parole. Agent Denise Jackson gave her one last chance after she tested positive for drugs. She hopes that wasn't a mistake.
Okay, Maggie, when you use the bathroom in here, I want you to put the lid on tight.
Okay. Oh, I almost peed in the rest.
Don't pee on the floor. Put the top on. No tight. Maggie, when the last time you used?
I did nothing, Miss Jackson. Absolutely nothing. I don't even smoke or drink, Miss Jackson. That's the truth. Oh, Lordy.
Coming up on Parole Diaries.
You're not always going to have a good day. You need to go back to that program.
While we were arresting him, he had an iPod on him. Dude, you making some bad decisions, man.
Okay, Maggie, when you use the bathroom in here, I want you to put the lid on tight.
Okay.
Parolee Maggie Hartley has been in rehab for the past month. This is her moment of truth.
Tested negative for drugs.
I don't do nothing, Miss Jackson. I'm cool. Thank you.
Get down, girl. Get down. Yes, it is. Yes, you did. You outdid yourself. I'm really excited and very, very proud of her because in the beginning, it was a total rough start. You just tested positive for PCP?
I don't do none of that.
Shut up. Empty your purse out right here. This is the last straw. How long you been out?
Since January 26th.
Here it is, March the 7th, and you test negative for all drug activities.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay right now.
Okay.
But you're not always going to have a good day, okay? But when you have those days, I want you to have a support system. So, yeah, you need to go back to that program.
Okay.
How proud are you of yourself? Don't do that, girl. You're going to make me cry.
Yeah, I know. I'm real proud of myself, Miss Jackson, because it took me a long time to get here. And you was a good reason of it because you encouraged me, and I'm so proud of myself.
Maggie has come a long way, but Denise knows kicking an addiction is never easy.
I want her to continue to do really, really well. Can she keep it? Can she keep what she has? I hope she can.
I think we pretty much know that you can't do stuff like that, man. Being away from your residence for 72 hours.
Right.
So.
Agent Gerald Carter is sending sex offender Thomas Calvert back to prison for violating his parole again. As Thomas is getting arrested, his offenses multiply.
Music, videos. I wonder what type of videos you got on here, dude.
It ain't mine. I bought it off the friend.
Okay.
Like I said, it ain't mine, Carter.
While we were arresting him, he had an iPod on him that had pornographic material on it. That's probably one of the dumbest things that you can possibly do. Dude, you're making some bad decisions, man.
Yeah, I made a bad decision staying away from for 72 hours. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that was on there. I didn't check the videos.
You did?
No, I did not, no. All I used it for was the iPod. I didn't know that was on there.
Why bring this in the building is what I'm thinking. Like, you could have left that outside, man. You just brought porn in here. You brought porn into the parole.
I didn't know it was on the thing, Carter. I'm serious, I didn't know.
Does this have internet?
No, not that I'm aware of.
You know, a big problem with this phone right here is that I can get on the internet with it.
You shouldn't be able to.
I'm just on it.
I didn't know you could get on there.
Right,
It's my
but
wife's
I'm on the internet on this phone. Who needs to know that?
Me and my wife.
Right. This is something that never should happen, man.
Accessing the internet is what got Calvert locked up during his last parole.
Thought we had a little better understanding than that, man. Chat with hotties. Did you get on there?
Nope.
So your wife got on there?
No, she's never been on
This
that.
is popular sites.
You might as well come on out this way.
I had the wrong stuff on me at the wrong time. Made the wrong decisions.
Just gotta follow the rules, man.
Yeah, true there.
That's all you gotta do, man.
You gotta have a strong back to supervise sex offenders. I don't want to see a child get violated from a guy that's on my caseload.
It's been about a month since I've seen Maggie. That's how you look when you clean. Yeah, turn around here. This is how you look when you're clean.
3.5 months after leaving prison, Maggie is drug-free and holding a full-time job at Goodwill.
You look good.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
You do. You got a little glow about your skin and everything. So what's going on with everybody?
I ain't been in touch with nobody.
Not your husband?
No.
Not your boyfriend?
No. I'm doing fine, Miss Jackson.
Denise did not give up on Maggie and wouldn't let Maggie give up on herself.
You know what? I'm totally in awe with you right now. I know you can do it.
I appreciate you working with me, Miss Jackson.
Maggie is a success story. Did I think that Maggie would be successful? I don't know. You just got to take it day by day and hope for the best.
Denise getting on my ass, and I was tired of her on my ass. You hear me? And then I knew that I needed to do this because if I didn't, I would go back to prison. And then, most of all, I got to do it for myself.
She's doing great. I'm proud of her.